Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Computer and Information Sciences, SOCIS, Certificate in Mobile Application Development, CMAD. BCS 091 Introduction to Mobile Architecture. Block-2 Mobile Operating Systems. Unit-6 Basics of iOS. 6.0 Introduction. iOS is a mobile operating system developed by Apple. It was previously known as iPhone OS. This operating system runs on various devices such as iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch etc. And it is available in 40 languages. It is second most popular operating system for handheld devices with 27% share globally. Most popular operating system is Android. iOS was originally developed for phones. In 2007, further it is extended to support other devices such as the iPod Touch in September 2007 and the iPad in January 2010. There are numerous versions of iOS which are released till date. The current version is iOS 10, which was released on September 13, 2016. It is supported on the iPhone 5 and above. It is also supported on iPad 4th generation, iPad mini 2, iPad Pro and the 6th generation iPod Touch. This platform is written in C, Objective-C, and Swift. It is very secure platform and it utilizes many security features both in hardware and software. Below are the security features of iOS. Secure boot, passcode, Touch ID, non-executable memory, encryption, app security, network security, two-factor authentication. In iOS, there are 4 layers of abstraction as shown. Layer 4, Cocoa Touch layers. Layer 3, Media. Layer 2, Core Services. Layer 1, the Core OS. The user interface of iOS is somewhat different as compared to other operating systems of phones. It is based upon direct manipulation using multi-touch gestures. Multi-touch gestures include swipe, pinch, tap, and reverse pinch. All of these have specific meaning and specific use within the context of iOS and multi-touch. There are various other control elements such as switches, buttons, sliders etc. Some applications in iOS use accelerometers to respond to shaking the device and 3-dimensional rotating. Table 6.1 lists some features of iOS. Features description. Home screen. The home screen of iOS is given by Springboard. The home screen contains icons of different applications installed in the phone, and it also contains a dock where a user can easily pin the most frequently used apps. There is a status bar at the top of the screen which displays current time, battery level of the phone, network strength of the connection, etc. Whenever the home button is pressed, home screen will start to appear. If the device is protected with the passcode, then one has to enter that passcode first to unlock the device, and after that only the access to the home screen is granted. In iPhone OS 3, a new feature added named Spotlight. Spotlight allows users to search apps, contacts, media, messages, reminders, emails, etc. Later in iPhone 7, this feature of Spotlight is accessible by just pulling down anywhere on the home screen. In iOS 9, there are 2 ways by which we can use Spotlight. In the latest version of iOS, i.e., iOS 10, Spotlight is at the top of the Today panel. System font of iOS is Helvetica. When iOS 3 is switched to iOS 4, its font changed to Retina displays. With the release of iOS 7, users were provided with the ability to scale text, or they can switch to Noi Bold. In iOS 9, the font was changed into San Francisco, which was originally developed for the Apple Watch. Folders. The concept of folders was first introduced with the release of iOS 4, in which 2 or more apps can be jiggled into one folder. Maximum number of apps that can be collected together in a folder is 12 on iPhone 4S, 16 on iPhone 5, and 20 on iPad. The name of the folder is selected by the category of apps, files inside it, and user can also rename the name of the folder according to their ease. There can be nested folders also. Nested folders means there can be a folder inside a folder. Notification Center. Before the introduction of Notification Center, notifications were delivered in a modal window and cannot be viewed after being removed from the screen. With the release of iOS 5, Notification Center was introduced, in which user can view the history of notifications. To view a notification, a user can simply tap on it and the corresponding app will be open in the phone. 6.1 Objectives. After going through this unit, you should be able to know. Fill circle basic features and functionalities of iOS. Filled circle issues related to accessibility of iOS. Filled circle the way iOS does multitasking, and filled circle about Siri and its usage. 6.2 Accessibility. iOS enables users with vision and hearing disabilities to access its features. For example, visually impaired can communicate with their friends or relatives from overseas. Table 6.2 gives some of the features of iOS for hearing impaired. Features for hearing impaired. Features description. FaceTime. This feature is a video conferencing system which is used on iOS as well as on Mac OS. With the help of this feature, users can do video call on two iOS devices like iPad, iPhone, etc. There are many third-party tools for video conference, but FaceTime is the built-in software of iOS and it is very well supported. It has the ability of lip reading and can converts to the text. For example, one user can use FaceTime and on the other side second user can use Braille display to read the text. Closed caption. It displays the text on screen while playing videos. There are many third-party players for closed captioning, but iOS has inbuilt player also that plays closed captioning. User has to turn it on and then video has to be closed captioned. Format that player understands. Headphone jack. Those users who need a higher volume level can use headphone jack to add speakers. It is very useful because the built-in speakers are not loud enough. Bluetooth audio. User can also use Bluetooth audio to listen in higher volume. Through Bluetooth speaker user can add amplification to the sound. Built-in speakers are not loud enough so user can increase the volume through Bluetooth speaker. Messaging is a great lifeline for those who have the hearing impairment. They can easily read the messages. Visual alerts for different applications. User can save the different settings for visual alerts. Alert pop up right in the middle of the screen. Those who has hearing impairment, they could have problem in listening the notification sound. To solve this problem, visual alerts is a great way to display the notifications. The accessibility, hearing, feature settings are shown in figure 6.2. Look at the screen. Figure 6.2, accessibility, hearing, feature settings in iOS. Table 6.3 lists features for visually impaired. Features for visually impaired. Features description. VoiceOver. If a user is completely blind or partially blind, then this technology is a boon for him. It reads the content of device and can navigate the user that where he is on screen. For example, if user receives a message, then it reads back so that user can listen the message. Siri is based on technology that is called speech to text. User has to touch the Siri button and speak something, then Siri translates voice into the text and then executes the command accordingly. With the help of Siri, user can launch the applications, ask about the weather and bring it back in voice form. This feature is very helpful for people with disabilities or without disabilities. Many people use Siri on daily basis. Zoom user has to turn on this feature. By default it sets to off. Once it is turned on, then any portion of the screen can be zoom in. If there is enough content on the screen, then user can zoom it and can read easily. This is very useful for people who are partially blind. Black on white. This feature has to be turned on as it sets to off by default. It is also called as invert colors. The normal screen is of the white background and black color text on it. In black on white feature, screen background will be of black color and white color text on it. This is very helpful for those who need high contrast screens. Speak selection. User can highlight the text, then a button appears speak, and it reads back the selected content to the user. It speaks in the default device language. Large text. User can enlarge the text up to 56 points. It is helpful in reading the text easily. It is difficult to use it on small screen devices. Braille display. Braille display is like a Braille printer. iOS device sends the some text to the display and then it displays the first line of text. Braille displays can have 20 characters or 80 characters. It is a very good interface for Braille proficient. This is very helpful for those who are deaf or blind. Braille displays connected to iOS devices via Bluetooth, i.e. wirelessly. The accessibility, vision, feature settings are shown in figure 6.3. Look at the screen. Figure 6.3, accessibility, vision, feature settings in iOS. 6.3 Multitasking. Multitasking is a concept of performing multiple tasks, also known as processes, over a certain period of time by executing them concurrently. New tasks start and interrupt already started ones before they have reached completion, instead of executing the task sequentially, so each started task needs to reach its end before a new one is started. As a result, a computer executes segments of multiple tasks in an interleaved manner, while the tasks share common processing resources such as central processing units, CPUs, and main memory. In iOS-based devices, user can use more than one app at a time with the help of multitasking. With the release of iOS 4, the functionality of multitasking was introduced in June 2010. This functionality was limited to fewer devices such as iPhone 4, iPhone 3GS, iPod Touch, 3rd generation. Now, multitasking is supported on almost all latest devices like iPhone 3GS, iPod Touch 3rd generation, and all iPad models. After the release of iOS 4, multitasking is supported in 7 background apps. Filled circle voice over IP, filled circle background audio, filled circle background location, filled circle local notifications, filled circle push notifications, filled circle task completion, filled circle fast app switching. After the release of iOS 5, 3 more apps were added. Filled circle newsstand, filled circle Bluetooth accessory, filled circle external accessory. With the release of iOS 7, Apple introduced a new feature of enabling the apps to perform background updates. Most frequently used apps of the device are given high preference to update, and it is preferred to use Wi-Fi network instead of cellular network to update the apps. 6.3.1 Switching applications. In iOS, user can easily switch from one app to another. Following are steps to switch from one app to another. Filled circle double-click on the home button to see recently used apps. Filled circle swipe right or left to find the app that you want to use. Filled circle tap the desired app. Switching in iOS gets updated with every new version released. Like in iOS 4 to iOS 6, the application switcher is activated by double-clicking the home button. After this, a scrollable dock-like interface starts appearing in the bottom that led the contents of the screen moving upwards. User can choose any icon to switch to that particular application. In iOS 7, the application switcher gets activated by double-clicking the home button. There are some changes now as compared to previous versions. Now, the screenshots of open applications are displayed on the top of the icon, and user can browse through the apps by horizontal scrolling, and user can close any application by dragging them up. With the release of iOS 9, there is a significant change in the visualization of application switcher, but the concept of showing screenshots is same as that of iOS 7. In iOS 9, the size of the application icon is relatively small, and it appears above the screenshot, and each application card overlaps the other. 6.3.2 Ending tasks. User can easily end the tasks running in the phone. In iOS 4 to iOS 6, to end the applications running, user have to hold the icons appearing in the application switcher, then tap on the red minus circle that appears at the corner of the app's icon. With the release of iOS 7 and further, the process of ending tasks become faster and easier. In iOS 7, user don't have to hold the icons to close them. Indeed, they can swipe up the icons to close them. At most 3 apps can be cleared at a time in iOS 7. 6.4 Siri. Siri is Apple's personal assistant that takes input in voice, processes the function, and returns back the output in voice format. User can ask the questions to Siri, or can ask Siri to do things. Siri is an essential part of iOS since iOS 5. On the 14th of October 2011, it was first introduced as a feature of the iPhone 4S. Now, it has been included on all iOS devices after October 2012. It is also integrated with Apple Watches, which can be activated just by saying, "Hey, Siri." It is also integrated into Apple's TV and in cars also. 6.4.1 Setting up Siri. The following are steps to enable Siri in iOS devices. I. Open the setting in the iOS device. E. Scroll down and click on Siri. E. Then, user can toggle the switch on or off, and user will be asked to confirm to enable or disable Siri. In settings, Siri needs to be enabled. Figure 6. 4. Look at the screen. Figure 6.4. Enabling Siri. 6.4.2 Launching Siri. The following are steps to launch Siri. I. First, press and hold the home button on iOS device, and say, "Hey, Siri." To activate Siri, E. Ask Siri to do something or give some command. E. Then, Siri will perform the action. Figure 6.5. Figure 6.5. Siri in action. 6.5 Game Center. Game Center is a social gaming network that supports online multiplayer. Players can share the games online. On July 10, 2008, Apple Inc. launched the App Store, but it had no unified multiplayer and social system on that platform. Then, many third-party apps like OpenFaint plus iGNOU Online and Scoloop came into the light and control over the online gaming environment. Apple announced Game Center on the 8th of April 2010. It features turn-based gaming, player profile photos, friend suggestions and achievement points. With iOS 6 it updates the Game Center and some features were added like game challenges, beat leaderboard scores etc. Players can connect with friends, can send friend requests, playing games and organize multiplayer games. 500 friends can be connected to a single game center. Some games contains achievements, some have certain tasks to be completed and player earn some reward points also. In some games, players can see the leaderboard so that they can compare their score with their connected friends. Table 6.4 lists some features of Game Center. Features description. Achievements: players can earn points as reward by meeting specific game in challenges. It was basically developed to socialize and create competition between players. Leaderboard: some games have features the leaderboard through which players can compare their score with their connected friends. Multiplayer: few games host the matches between the players. Players can be their friends or can be anyone from around the world. Users have to set their profile in Game Center. Following are the steps to setting up the profile. Settings, Game Center, sign in. Then, user should sign in with their Apple ID. Figure 6.6, Interface of Game Center. Look at the screen. 6.6 Summary. iOS is an operating system specially developed for mobile devices. Apple Inc. first launched it in 2007 and then many releases were rolled out. iOS has many smart features. Visually and hearing impaired person can use it in a very easy manner. Disabled people can operate the iOS devices by their voice only, and it has the great feature of braille display through which blind person can operate the phone. iOS is compatible with many devices like Filled Circle iPad, Filled Circle iPad mini, Filled Circle iPad Pro, Filled Circle iPhone, Filled Circle iPod. There is an online store developed by Apple Inc. called App Store. In App Store, users can find the apps which are compatible with their iOS device. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video with the next chapter.